this is Lauren from Daisy Cottage Designs, and today I'm here with a video tutorial for you on the double crochet cluster stitch. I use this stitch a lot and I've used it in other patterns, but I've actually changed the way I do it just a little bit. So I wanted to update this video for the newest pattern that is out on the blog and in my Etsy shop. So the first thing you are going to want to do is grab a baby weight yarn or a DK yarn and an I-9 crochet hook, which is a 5.5mm hook. And the great thing about this stitch is that it works with any chain length. So I have chained, I think I chained 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I chained 9. And I am going to get you started and show you how to turn. So I'll show you how to make this stitch. I'll show you everything you need to know, but the full pattern is available on my website or in the Etsy shop. So I've started with 9. The actual blanket starts with a chain of 90, and you can find all that information on my website. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to double crochet 2 together or work a cluster stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook. All right, so that means you're going to yarn over. You know what? I had to rework this chain. My first one got a little bit tight, so I'm going to chain 9. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And one thing I forgot to mention, so I'm glad I had to go back and redo that chain, is that you want to make sure your chain is nice and loose. And if you tend to chain on the tight side, you're definitely going to want to even go up to a J crochet hook and still crochet loosely, because this cluster stitch is a wide stitch. So it has a tendency to ruffle or ruffle or gather and bunch if your chain is too tight. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to work into the 3rd chain. So this is your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd chain. This loop on your hook doesn't count. So you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the 3rd chain and pull up a loop. All right, so I have 3 loops on my hook. And now I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now, usually what I would do to finish a double crochet is yarn over and pull through these 2 loops on my hook, but we're going to work a cluster stitch. So we're going to yarn over and insert our hook into that same chain and pull up a loop. And now there are going to be 4 loops on our hook. So we're going to yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops. Now there's 3 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. So we've made our first cluster stitch. Let's do another one. So we'll yarn over and insert our hook into the next chain and pull up a loop. So there are 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops. There are going to be 2 loops left, so yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch and pull up a loop. There are 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're going to do the same thing in every chain across. So we yarn over, insert our hook into the next chain and pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the same chain and pull up a loop. There are 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. And now we'll yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So let's do another one. We'll yarn over, insert our hook into the next chain, pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. There are 2 loops left. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that same chain, pull up a loop. There are 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So we're going to do that in the next 3 stitches. So I yarned, let me start over. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain and pull up a loop. There are 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. 2 more, so I'm going to do those 2 quickly and show you how to turn. Okay, let me do this last one. There we go. Okay, so I'm working my last one. And now to turn my work, I'm going to chain 2 and turn, and I am going to work right into this very first stitch. Okay, so I'm not going to skip the first stitch. I'm going to work a double crochet cluster or a double crochet 2 together into that first stitch. So I'm going to try to get a little more light. I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the same first stitch and pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the same stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops. And I'm just going to do that in each stitch across. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull the first 2 loops. I'll yarn over and insert my hook into the same stitch and pull up a loop. There are 4 loops on my hook. I'll yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And I'll just keep doing that in every stitch across. I'm going to be working my cluster stitches in every stitch. And this stitch, working with this baby weight yarn and an eye hook, has the best drape. There's a lot of flexibility to it. It can be worked with worsted weight yarn and a J hook, and that works out just as beautifully. It's just a little bit more of a dense stitch. Okay, so I've gotten to the end of my row, and you can see I have, this is the top of my last cluster stitch right here. This right here is the top of my last cluster stitch. Excuse me. And then you'll see the chain 2 from the beginning of the row. We're only going to work into the top of the cluster stitch. So we'll yarn over, insert our hook into that last stitch, pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch and pull up a loop. There are 4 loops on our hook, so yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that is your second row, okay? So now when you chain, we chain 9, so we'll have 7 double crochets, 7 double crochet cluster stitches. So there's 1, 2, let me actually point with this pencil. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I think I said earlier that you start with a chain of 90 for the blanket. That's not true. You start with a chain of 92, but you'll start with 90 cluster stitches. So if you start with a chain of 9 to practice the swatch, you'll end up with 7 double crochet cluster stitches. If you started with a chain of 12, you would have 10 cluster stitches. So you'll have 2 fewer cluster stitches than you have chains, if that makes sense. So if you start with 12 chains, you'll have 10 cluster stitches. If you start with 92 chains, you'll have 90 cluster stitches. And then to turn, you're just going to chain 2 and turn your work, and then cluster stitch in each stitch across. So I hope this helps. Have a great day and happy crocheting.